Assalamu alaikum and good day. Now, in this slide, I will explain to you on how to go about doing your first assessment, which is your informative speech. What are the requirements for you to actually present your informative speech? So this is just to explain briefly. Now we'll start with the first slide. Now I have talked uh, in the previous lecture or video lecture on what is an informative speech. So if you have gone through and listened to my lecture, then you should know what is an informative speech. But this is just to recap. Okay. Now make sure that in your speech it contains one introduction, three body contents, and one conclusion. That means there should be five paragraphs. Now, well, let's start with the first paragraph, which is your introduction. Make sure that in your introduction, you have the attention getter, you have a specific purpose, you establish your topic and central idea, and then the transitional sentence. Now, if you're not sure about these things, then I highly advise you to watch my previous lecture video on what is an informative speech, because in that video I have explained in details all of these criteria. Now, what do you need in your body content? Three main points, of course. That means three paragraphs. And one main point is for one paragraph, and you must elaborate your paragraphs. And how to elaborate? Well, refer to my lecture video and my lecture notes. And of course, lastly, you need to have a conclusion. I do not need to explain about your concluding paragraph because any speech must be concluded, right? But if you're not sure how to conclude, refer to my note. Now let's talk about your presentation. Now, having a visual aid is a must. I just have to say this. Now, what is a visual aid? It is something to support your presentation. It can be slide, it can be a graph, it can be a chart, it can be a table, it can be a video, it can be a picture, anything to support your presentation. Because if you're going to stand in front of the audience without having no visual aid, then there is a chance that your audience will not understand your delivery and your presentation. So, visual aid is always there to support your presentation, to prove a point, to help audience to understand better. So, if you're, of course, you have to have a visual aid. Make sure your visual aid is loud and clear if you're using an audio or video, or clear enough for me to view in a way that if you are showing a graphic or an image or a chart or a graph or a table, make sure they are very clear, not something that is pixelated or jagged, whereby it's too small. I cannot see from far. I'm not sure if that is actually a visual aid. All right. And if you're using a video or an audio, please make sure it is not more than 1 minute. I often see that students, when they use video, particularly, the video is very long, up to 2 or 3 minutes. Now, you only have 6 minutes for your presentation. Imagine that. If 3 minutes out of that 6 minutes is all about your video, then what is left for your speech presentation? So please make sure that it is not more than 1 minute. Yeah. And I think most of you will be using slides because slides are also considered as visual aid. Now, if you're using slides, make sure that it is not too wordy. I don't want you to put everything in your slide, just the main points for you to look at and look at the audience and then explain about the point. Now let's talk about your non-verbal gestures. Non-verbal gestures has to do with your voice, has to do with your facial expression, and also your body gestures, pergerakan tubuh. Now, in terms of voice, make sure your voice is clear and projected. Now, if you can listen to my voice clearly, that means my voice is clear and projected. All right, don't come to the front and then have very small and tiny voice. Always practice. All right, and also add intonation. Now, if you are telling something interesting, Show your excitement. I'm about to tell you something that is excited. See, I have changed my voice. Now, if it is something that is said, well, my friend died 2 years ago because of cancer, and this is something. Can you see the way I tell a sad story? I tone down. So this is what we call modulation in voice, because it depends on the content or the environment of your speech. Now, facial expression is mimic muka, where you show your facial expression. All right. So try to, if it is something that is lovable, try to laugh a little bit, smile a little bit. If it is sad, try to frown upon it. All right. And body gestures is pergerakan tubuh, your hand movements, your body movement, because you cannot just be sitting in front of your friends, in front of the audience. Sorry, it's not sitting, standing straight in front of your audience. So there must be a bit of movement. Now, in terms of language, I just want to advise that pronunciation or enunciation. If you're not sure how to pronounce certain words, you can always Google for that word and listen on the pronunciation. Now, I'm all okay if you like to pronounce it using American English or British English, up to you. And observed good grammar. All right. So now we have a lot of this AI generative tool that you can actually use to check your grammar. Now, if you don't have enough money to ask somebody else or to hire a proofreader, you can just use a generative AI like Killbot or Grammarly. They will check your grammar on your behalf. And let's talk about attire. Now, this is a presentation, a speech presentation. Wear something that is semi formal. Now, for the boys, please don't wear any cap because that is informal. And if I see that you're using a cap, I'll ask you to remove your cap. All right? But do you need to wear something like a suit with a tie? No. I mean, of course, you have to wear something that is semi-formal. If you're not sure what semi-formal attire is, Google. Just Google. Type the word semi-formal attire. They'll show you some pictures. If you cannot read or you don't understand, just click on the images. They'll show you some examples of semi-formal attire. I think I do not need to explain in details on this. But I often see, especially the male students, like to wear caps or hats. So if I see that, I'll ask you to remove them. For the ladies, if you want to wear baju kurung, it's okay. If you want to wear suits pun okay. I'm all okay. Wearing pants pun okay, but make sure that it looks semi-formal. I don't want it to be too casual because this is a presentation, but I do not want it to be too formal because this is not a dinner or a night gala. No. Now, let's talk about the in-class presentation. Now, make sure that you come on time. I repeat, if our class starts at 4:15, be in my class by 4:15 because I wish to finish the whole thing on time. The date of your presentation will be on the 30th November 2025. That is during seminar number 3. All students are required to attend the presentation. All, because that is the only time that you'll be presenting. So please manage your time wisely. I cannot have you not to come to my class during the seminar 3. All right? Because that is when you're going to present in the class. If you don't come, you miss your presentation, you're going to lose marks for your informative speech. Simple as that. Your presentation should not be more than 6 minutes. Remember that, not more than 6 minutes. And each presentation must have a visual aid. Now, if you're not sure what visual aid is, just see my lecture on visual aid. All right? If you're using slides for your visual aids, your slide should not be more than 5. That means limit to 5 slides only. I don't want it to be too long. And you are to prepare your own laptop and speaker should you need to use them for your presentation, because some students, they have videos, they want to show some videos, but they say, oh, I'm so sorry, I don't have a speaker. And if you have a video but the audience is not able to listen to your video clearly, it defeats the whole purpose. That means your visual aid is ineffective. So these are the things that you may want to consider for your presentation. So I wish all the best and good luck.